Do you really need a prenuptial agreement in Massachusetts? Well, if you have children from a prior relationship, property, or a business, the answer is probably yes. In Massachusetts, a prenuptial agreement is not just for the wealthy. It's for anyone who wants to protect what they've built. May they own property, investments, or a business, a prenuptial agreement is designed to help safeguard your future. Thinking a prenuptial agreement is unromantic, well, that could cost you everything. When it comes to prenups, your biggest mistake is waiting too long. If you spring a prenuptial agreement on your partner just days before the wedding, it's likely to be challenged. It's going to create a lot of tension and problems within your relationship, and it could be thrown out of court. The second biggest mistake that people make when it comes to prenuptial agreements is failing to make full financial disclosure. This means that you have to disclose both your assets and your liabilities. Failing to do so could have the agreement held invalid and not held up in court. And lastly, finding a cookie-cutter version or template on the internet of a prenuptial agreement just won't cut it. Massachusetts has its own set of standards and rules that have to be followed, and simply cutting and pasting from the internet is not going to get it done. A prenuptial agreement should protect you and not be thrown out of court
because it was done wrong.
A prenuptial agreement can really save you a lot unless you screw it up. In Massachusetts, a prenuptial agreement must be fair and reasonable, not only at the time of signing, but also at the time of divorce. Courts will take a second look at that agreement and determine, was it fair when it was signed? Did the parties make full disclosure of all assets and liabilities? And is it now fair at the time of divorce? Courts also look at the timing of when it was executed. Generally, they like to see it being executed within 6 months of the date of the wedding. We tell our clients that you should execute the prenuptial agreement before the save the dates come out. Courts will also look to determine how that agreement is drafted. Does it hit upon all assets, liabilities? Was it done fairly? And does it provide for a complete picture on the dissolution of the marriage? We'll walk you through the do's and don'ts of prenuptial agreements. If handled correctly, it will be a valid, legal, and binding contract that you enter into that'll create certainty and clarity on your future. In Massachusetts, a valid prenuptial agreement should cover debt allocation, premarital assets, postmarital assets, alimony, and inheritance rights. In Massachusetts, a valid prenuptial agreement can't violate public policy or harm your children's rights. But not to worry, we're here to help you draw the right lines. So let's say that your future spouse has $80,000 in student loans. Once you're married, will that become your problem? Without a well-drafted prenup, it just might. A well-drafted prenup can set out debt responsibility so that one partner is not stuck cleaning up after the other's past. But it has to be clear and legally sound. Will a prenuptial agreement protect you against credit card debt, alimony, losing your house, or lawsuits? The answer is, it depends. Prenuptial agreements can protect against a lot, but not everything. We'll walk you through some common scenarios and explain when a prenup will help you and when it won't. They're powerful tools when drafted correctly and early. Alimony can feel like a financial anchor, weighing you down, unless you plan ahead. In Massachusetts, a prenuptial agreement will predetermine whether alimony will be paid, how much, or for how long. Courts will generally enforce reasonable agreements if they're drafted properly. We'll explain how to lock in terms that'll protect you. Schedule a strategy session for prenuptial agreements with Martino Law Group and download our Massachusetts Guide to Prenuptial Agreements today. Call today and book a confidential strategy session with our team. We'll show you how to draft a prenup that holds up and protects what matters most. Download our essential prenup do's and don'ts checklist and get it right the first time. Call us today and book your prenup strategy session. We're here to help.